nothing will work out. Well, here's the thing, right? Whenever you're in a situation like this, the thing to do is to make small goals, right? Because something will work. There's no in my from what I have experienced. There's never a no win situation. You may not win initially. You may not come out on top at the beginning, but at some point you win, right? At some point you come out on top, and so it takes time to understand that though you don't see it right away, it will come through. So you got to go through the process. You got to go through the situation, go through the trial, go through the hard stuff in order to get to your desired your desired place. And so looking around, you do have to do that. Looking around at your situation, you've got to be on aware of the fact that something will work. All right. So there's again TJ Live with the like and designer TJ with the double. Something will work. Okay. So even if you try something and it doesn't work, it simply means you need to try something else. That's it. You just need to try something else. Simply try something else. Because at the end of the day, everything works together for our good. It may not seem good, but even if it teaches us something, even if it's something simply as you learn what not to do, like we discussed before, you learn not to do this in a situation, you've learned something that's good for you. So you won't find yourself in this situation again. All right? So just remember, there is, in my opinion, just me, I'm Russell and I'm different. I don't agree with the fact that there are no win situations. There is a way to win. There's definitely a way to win. Matthew, thank you for the like and the follow. There's a way to win. But it's up to us to figure out what it is. It's up to us to determine how it is that we can win. Because something, again, will work. Something will work. It's not a situation where nothing will work. Something will work. And a lot of times we are too impatient to go through what we have to go through to get to that. We sometimes like our situations to be microwavable. We like to be able to put it in the microwave, put it, 30 seconds and it works. However, sometimes you got to put that bad boy in the oven. That means you've got to preheat the oven, and it's going to take you a little longer to cook it. It's going to take you a lot longer for that to be done rather than putting it in the microwave. It's one thing to just heat it up. It's something else to cook it. And so some of our situations, we got to cook. We got to cook the old-fashioned way. It's got to go in the oven. Or the oval, it's got to go on the stove that you had to heat up to 400 degrees. And then it's got to bake all day. Whereas in the microwave, looking at 15 minutes maybe and you're good. So it's not always microwavable situations. It's not always microwavable good. It takes a while. But that slow cook, let me tell you something about some slow cooking. It'll take you somewhere, all right? So that's that you put in the crock pot, if you will, and it cook all day. All right. And by the time you pull it out, it's falling off the bone. That kind of stuff. Whereas McDonald's was great. It hit the spot what you need. But when you take that roast and you put it in there with the potatoes and the carrots and all the vegetables and your bell peppers and you season it real good and get you some beef or chicken stock to put in there and let it sit all day. Then you see the difference. I told you your boy can cook. Then you see the difference. And so it goes the same thing with us. Sometimes we got to sit and marinate in all of that stuff, because here's the thing, right? It's all of those different ingredients over time that make the meat what it is. Because you could just put it in, you take seasoning, just sprinkle it on top, splash it on there, and it's not done. It's not there. But the fact that it sat there and marinated and slowly but surely got all through it, making it tender, making it what's what I'm looking for. It makes it in a state that you can handle it and enjoy it. It puts it in a state where you can handle and enjoy it. So when things go a lot longer than you're expecting, it's simply giving you the opportunity to handle it. That's it. And you'll enjoy the end result. somehow or another you'll look back and remember this situation, and I would have been in a worse state had it not been for that. Perfect example. And we'll get out of here shortly. Perfect example. And back in 2013, my mother passed away very suddenly. I mean, to the point of my brother, because we have different fathers. His father had passed away 5 days before our mother passed away, and so he was literally on the road to go to Philadelphia to be with his family up there, and I was going an hour and a half down the road to pick my mother up to bring her where I was to spend the weekend with me. And so I called her and she didn't answer the phone. Okay, no big deal. So I get on the road anyway. I get a phone call from my brother that says the ambulance has just left his house and I need to get there. And I did. I did go about 110 down the highway. While I wasn't reckless in my driving, I was moving very quickly. I wasn't trying to kill nobody. I planned ahead for those kind of things. To get there, to find out that as soon as I arrived, they had just finished working on it and she'd passed away. Terrible situation, right? Awful. But in the end, it helped me and my brother to stand on our own 2 feet. She was the kind that she would run interference all the time. So if something happened, she would run interference, and we wouldn't always have the chance to handle things by ourselves. I was the independent one anyway, but she would still hop in because she was my mother. I won't disrespect her and things like that. But it made me understand that that I could stand on my own 2 feet, that I could be an individual. I could handle my own business. I could handle my situations and move forward. And so it taught me that I could do that. It taught me that I was able to do it. And even to this day, do I miss my mother? Of course. 100%. Do I wish that she was here as long as she wouldn't have to suffer? Yes. However, the end result of her passing was me being better, something that she would want. And so at the end of the day, what looked like a terrible situation, what looks like an awful situation, came out to be a good thing. It came out to be a good thing for me. And then for her too. Sure, she no longer had to deal with some of the stuff that she did, with some of the things she suffered with. She didn't have to do that anymore. And sure, it hurt. It hurt like you wouldn't believe. And then, so the rest of the story, my brother then has to turn around, going up the highway, turn around to come back. Now, understand, all right, TJ, I think if I missed that, all right, have a good night, my dude. Now, understand something. I'm already upset. I have to take my feelings, set them aside, because now I've got to deal business. I've got to deal with death. I've got to deal with that. So I got all of the family coming in. I can't be broke up. I got to take them back to go see her, and then get them in a situation or in a position where they are out. Of course, this is before COVID. Get them out and rotating them in. So I couldn't be all broke up. I couldn't be all of this stuff like this. So I had to focus on that. Then my big brother, he's 10 years older than me. My big brother, he's no good because he lost both of his parents in less than a week. And so at some point I had to say, all right, you need to leave. You need to go because your father's funeral is in a couple of days. I'll see you later. I'll deal with this here. And so I had to deal with picking out flowers, picking out a casket, finding a plot, dealing with all the payment stuff. I had to do her siblings helped, but everything ended up having to come through me. So I had to make all these decisions. I'm traveling up and down the highway. Understand, I'm still going to work. And that's an hour and a half away. So I'm driving back and forth to handle some working and then going down there to handle situations. But it taught me. It made me understand that I could do that. As difficult as the situation was, I could handle it. As whatever you want to call it, as whatever it was, I could handle it. And so when life seemingly deals you a bad hand, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a bad hand. No such thing as a bad hand. It's all according to how you play it. It may not be the hand that you want, but it's the one that you are dealt. And we can't change that. There's no such thing as, hey, let me give you these cards back and I'll reshuffle and do it. That's not how that works. It is what it is. And so it's up to us to make the best of it. It's up to us to do that. Sure. Are there some voids that I feel like need to be filled? Of course. Are there some empty places that hurt at times? Definitely. Are there some areas where I feel like, had she been here, maybe? Of course. Howard, what's up, my dude? And Santiago, I see you. But at the end of the day, believe it or not, it did more good for me than harm. It hurt, yes. It did more good for me, though, honestly, than anything else may have. And that's just a simple situation. Not simple. That's just one situation. I won't say simple, but that's just one situation. I could go on for days. I don't have that kind of time. I need to go to sleep because I really am tired. But I could go on because they're all over the place. So look at every situation as a learning opportunity. Okay, it sucks. We've established that. That's established. We don't need to dwell on that anymore. We don't need to dwell on the fact that it sucks. That's not going to change. So then, since it sucks, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? Because dwelling on the fact that it sucks doesn't change the fact that it sucks. We have to be people of action. Complaining all day is what it is. But once you complain about it all day, when you turn around, it's still there. You haven't done anything. Your situation is still in front of you. So it's not until you act, you actually do something regarding the situation that you see a change. And again, even if it's not the right thing, you still know, okay, don't do that. So I need to do something else rather than what I just did. And sure, so you skinned your knee because you messed up. Okay, you get up, you wipe it off, get you a Band-Aid, put it on, and let's go. Try something else. Because something will work. There's no such thing as nothing will work. Something somewhere will work. It's up to us to take the time, the real time, to find out what it is. All right? It takes some real time to figure out what it is that will work. And then once you find out what works, you got to work it real good. Work it real good. And you'll see the end result. It'll blow your mind, I guarantee. I never thought that I would have a situation where I lost my mom and I would consider it a good thing. I never thought that I would have that. Never in 100 years that I thought that would be a thing. But here I am talking to you all about how much of a good thing it ended up being. All right? That's real talk for tonight. Something will work. Something somewhere will work. So find it. Take the time to find it. Work it. All right? Let's get out of here. Let's show some love to somebody in our community doing something.